to Fresh Try Podcast. We have episode 6 today. Joining me, we have my nephew, Fawad Khan. Fawad, welcome to the podcast.
I'm glad to be here.
And returning by popular demand, Mr. Humair Baloch. A lot of people may remember him from episode 1. Welcome back, bro.
Glad to be here.
All right. Today, I guess we're going to kind of explore your life and kind of just dive into a lot of different stories that, pertain to you. So, if you're ready to dive in, let's go ahead and do it.
So where do you want to start?
Oh man, where do we start? Well, let's start from the moment where you learned to walk.
I learned to walk pretty early age by myself completely.
All right, so we're gonna have to Aiden fact check. Aiden, for people who don't know, I take credit for teaching Fawad to walk. There's some classic home video footage that will probably pop on the screen right now of Fawad as a toddler and me teaching him how to walk. And then I always like to take credit. And then Fawad, you went on to become a cross-country runner, and you did a lot of things with your running, and I'd like to take full credit for that.
Yeah, you said that once or twice before.
Yeah, yes.
And I recall that while you were in the prime of your cross-country racing, that you won that race. And, who was it that won that race?
You did win that race.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Just 40-yard dash.
By stomach, I think.
But Fawad, for being a professional cross-country runner, how did you lose to Humair, a non-runner in any way capacity, just brute force?
First of all, I wasn't a professional runner.
Okay, well, more trained than Humair for sure.
Second of all, I was a mid-distance, long-distance guy, and this was like literally less probably than a 40-yard dash. And you weren't old or out of shape either. He was in good shape. You're not giving enough credit.
Yeah, but you're a runner though.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I never ran. But I think it's like because I sprint.
But yeah, so Fawad, you went on to run at UCLA.
I did.
And then you also moved to New York.
I did move to New York, yeah.
What was the motivation of living in New York?
Why I went there?
Yeah.
No reason. I grew up in LA. I went to UCLA, and opportunity came up to move out there with the job I had, so I transferred. And I had another uncle that lived out there, so I lived with them.
That's called. So how is it living in New York? I mean, that's one thing that I've always thought about doing, or like kind of regretted not having the opportunity of like living in another place besides California. And just like experiencing life outside of California.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was really good. It was. I'm glad I did it. It was pretty crucial to my development into like an adult.
How old were you when you went?
I was like 22, and the thing that pretty sheltered as a kid. I was growing up under my mom, and then went to UCLA, so I was right here, and my parents still taking care of me, and then also being a college athlete, they take care of you as well. Like you make sure you go to class. They pretty much babysit you. So moving there and like pretty much being on my own and having to learn how to do everything like laundry and cooking and stuff like that was super important. And I was there when I moved there, like 22, and I came back when I was 26. That was like the perfect time in my life.
4 years out there, and you definitely have to grow up when you're. And then I think that's one of the things that we kind of explored with Bilal on our first episode of when he moved out to Hawaii. He had to do a lot of growing up, and when you're just by yourself, you definitely have. I mean, there's nobody else that's going to do it for you but yourself, right?
Well, you were living with your uncle, right?
I was for a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah.
Oh, and then you went off on your own?
Yeah, I went out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What did you notice right away?
What did I notice?
In terms of like the freedom and like you being responsible for yourself.
I guess the first thing, just like realizing that. I guess the biggest thing, like budgeting. Like I couldn't eat out every single meal, and having to pay rent too, because even though I live with my uncle, like I paid him rent. That was probably the most difficult thing.
What I always realize is that when people are inside of an environment, they're in this bubble, and you're constrained in terms of your thinking, and your ability to go beyond your horizons. And then once you leave that bubble, you actually are able to have limitless possibilities. You're able to explore things that you ordinarily wouldn't explore.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? What did you explore that you normally would not have?
I think before I went, I remember I became a totally different person. I was like, not lazy, but just unmotivated, and like, I didn't really care to like overachieve or anything like that. But then I don't know when it was, but when I came out there, like. Now, if you didn't know me back then, you would think that you'd be surprised. If you know me now and you didn't know me then, you'd be surprised how much I've changed, because now people I think people know me for is that like super determined. When I want something, I'm gonna get it. I'm not gonna be lazy about something. So I'm not sure when it happened, but I think those 4 years were definitely the.
Can we unpack that a little bit? Because I
Yes.
think that would help a lot of people for themselves to find motivation.
Yeah.
Like I want to know what happened that caused you. If you can pinpoint an event in your life where you were like, oh, I need to achieve. Is it because others in your environment, other people that came into your environment in New York, were also high achievers, or people that you worked with?
Well, New York also is such a, bustling, and like there's so many things that are happening. There's a lot of, professionals out there. I mean, it might be inspiring to be out there. I don't know if that played a part.
Is it the New York culture? Is it people you were surrounding yourself
I
with?
think a little bit of everything. New York culture was a big part. Like everyone's like on a mission to get somewhere, and they're not going to help you out, so you got to figure out yourself. I think that was like you just have to quickly adapt to that. There was also, I remember when I started, so that job I had that I was in college, I worked at the Apple store. So when I say it was super easy to move to the Apple store out there, so I was still working like my college job when I moved out there. So I wanted to start my career, and I remember this. I went to this interview. It was at the New York Post. For their at the time, all these magazines were moving digital, so it was for their app or their website. And I remember I got asked a question. I made up a lot of my resume, making it seem like I was in the industry, but I got asked a question. Looking back at it now, it was like the easiest question, and I didn't understand it at the time, and I felt so dumb in the interview. And they just looked at me like, "What the hell is this guy doing? Why are we wasting our time?" I remember that moment. I was like, "I'm never gonna be that not prepared for anything." So, yeah.
No, so that I see that a lot. When you take yourself out of a situation where everyone else is a low performer and you put yourself in a position where everyone else is a high performer, you start gravitating towards high performance because that you have to do that to be normal now. Because the normal is high performance.
Yeah.
Before it was not the case. So now it's caused you to do that. And then when you leave New York and you come back to LA, LA is not a business hub as much as New York is. So it's like you're coming back a bigger fish in a smaller pond versus a small fish in a big pond. So that probably led to your success here in California.
100%, yeah. I just had a different mentality than everybody else coming back here. It took a while to adjust moving back here too. Like just
pace of life.
Yeah.
No,
I literally would be pacing my house when I moved back because
Really?
I just didn't know what to do with like.
You're getting antsy. You
Yeah.
just need to be out. No, and bro, you make a great point because I definitely see that. So then, for Fawad, when you came back to California, you were saying you were antsy. Just were like, hey, what do I do?
Yeah.
What was your next step then from there?
Did you come back with a job lined up or were you looking?
So I did come back with a job lined up, but
How'd that interview go?
what were you? Yeah.
No,
Interesting
you knew what you were
question.
talking about this time?
Yeah, I knew exactly what I was talking about. And they asked me a really interesting question. Is like, if you could be a car, if you were a car, what car would you be?
How'd you answer that?
I said BMW 3 Series.
Why?
Okay.
Because the main reason was because that's the car I drove to the interview, my dad's car.
Okay.
That was the main top of mind, and then he asked me why, and I was like, oh, it's versatile, it's sporty, but also professional. Yeah.
Are you a natural optimist?
I am.
Sounds like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have no regrets. You're like, everything that happened for a reason and it led me to this point.
Correct. Yeah. I have a tattoo that says "No regrets."
Really?
Yeah. You've never seen that meme?
You should make that removed or edited.
You never seen that meme? No regrets.
No,
No, but like it's weird. I'm an optimist, but I'm also like planning for the worst.
So I think the viewers are really interested, and including your spouse or spousal equivalent. What was the dating life like in New York?
I don't know. I didn't partake in it at all.
You were your first
Like
one.
I said, I was determined. I was just focused on my career.
He looked up at the stars and he knew there was somebody waiting for him by the name of Alvina.
Yeah. I knew my wife was waiting like for me. I was shaving myself.
Somewhere out there.
Yeah, for her.
Hey, bro, why are you trying to get the guy in trouble over here?
We're like 20 minutes into the pod, so she probably won't watch this.
He narrowed it down to the one with the least attention spans.
Alright, cool. Now let's talk about the real stuff. Okay, so then, speaking of your spouse, then at what point, how long was it until you met Alvina?
And how? How did you meet her?
I don't know if I should tell this story.
That's exactly what you should tell us.
I don't think they want.
I think this is an opportunity for you to be candid and open and honest. It's therapeutic in a way, and plus it'll help other people that are in similar circumstances.
Okay.
What exactly do you think happened?
Well, it's just other people's feelings and.
You can use
self-incriminate. Also, there's that aspect of this too.
I mean, you can be anonymous with it, like
We don't have to use real
You can
names.
generalize,
Yeah.
yeah. No real names.
Okay. How do I put this? Okay, so first, this was while I was in New York a couple of years before I did move back. My sister graduated high school, and I wasn't at the graduation party, but someone put pictures on Facebook, and there was a picture of my sister, and my mom, and just there's just random pictures.
Yeah.
And I'm scrolling through the pictures, I see this girl, and I was like, oh, she's cute. And then my mom had been like pressuring me, like sending me pictures of girls that she would want to set me up with. So during this time, so I saw this picture, so I screenshotted it. I sent it to my mom, like, who's this girl?
Mhm.
And she said, oh, my friend's daughter, but she's 17. I was like, oh, never mind.
Oh, that's the self-incriminate part that the viewers were. What is he self-incriminating about?
We're married now. So,
Yeah.
so then, yeah. So before.
And just for the record, if you are married, it doesn't absolve you of anything. Just so people are aware.
No legal advice is being given on this show, just FYI.
So I asked my mom who she was, and then while we were waiting for a response, obviously I stalked her. I found her Facebook or Instagram or whatever. So I saw her. I saw her family. Like, you know, I was familiar with.
Once again, stalking isn't allowed. We do not condone or support that activity.
Okay. So then fast forward a couple years when I moved back. Now my mom's really on my case. Getting married, and she's sending me all these pictures. I was like, you're not gonna pick someone for me, but like if I see a girl and she's cute, and I'll talk to her and we'll see. So she sent me, one of the matchmaker ladies sent my mom a picture of this one girl, so my mom sent her to me, and I was like, that girl looks really familiar.
Same girl?
Where do I know her from? So then I'm like looking at her page, and she was, my wife and her parents, she was her sister.
Wow.
So that reminded me, I was like, oh wait, she's over 18 now. So I asked my mom, I was like, not her, but her sister. So that's how.
So what was the first reach out like?
I followed her on Instagram.
And then what did you message her?
And then I DM'd her a couple days later. Yeah.
And you said, hey, my mom met you a couple years back.
No, I just said hey. I think. What did I say? I think I went back to my mom. I said not her sister. Are they interested in that? So then I think the matchmaking lady asked her mom, and our moms already knew each other, so it didn't even matter either. But she said that's fine. So then I reached out and said, hey, I know.
And was she receptive?
The moms are. Yeah, she was. I found out later she was waiting for me because when I asked, I waited a couple months to actually reach out to her. Yeah, and follow her and then reach out to her.
So you guys talked back and forth, and then what was the first in-person interaction?
We
like?
talked on the first day we talked was July 20th, 2015.
Wow.
And
Good
our
memory.
first date was July 21st, 2017.
Wow. Where was the date?
PF Chang's in the Lama Mall.
What did she have?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
What was she wearing?
She was wearing a black shirt and some jeans.
Nice. Passed the test. That's
Yeah.
more important than what she
Yeah, I
said.
had the picture still. I remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, that
yeah,
helps.
yeah.
So then do you guys go to PF Chang's to celebrate?
No, we've never been back.
Nope.
Every time we go to Lama Mall, we're like, we've never been back since that day.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
And I remember the date because our first date was July 21st, 2015, and we got married July 21st, 2017.
Oh.
Yeah.
So wait, why did you never go back to PF Chang's?
Not a
I
fan?
don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know.
You didn't like the food there?
I don't even know why we ended up there in the first place. Yeah.
Okay.
Not even the General Sour Chicken?
I want to go to Raw Sushi. Remember Raw Sushi in Dallam Mall?
Raw? Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, they don't have that anymore.
They don't have it anymore. At the time, they did.
Oh.
So I love sushi, and she didn't like it at the time, but now she loves it. And
Oh.
I give her crap about that. Like, we could have gone sushi on our first date.
How'd you get her to start eating sushi?
I don't remember the exact date, but she loves sushi just as much as I do now. Yeah.
Amazing.
So when you met her, so you had your first date, and then 2 years later you got married.
Yeah.
So at what point did you know that this is the girl I want to marry?
I'll let you know when I'm joking. I don't know. Good question. I think we kind of made it official that we were going to get married pretty short. Like, and we met in July, and I think we made it official like in January that we're going to, like, the
6
parents
months
started
in?
talking. Yeah.
Wow.
So the parents started talking. So, yeah.
And both of your parents were already friends.
Yeah, they were already friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
Are they still friends?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're still friends.
And so then you guys get married. What year did you guys get married?
2017.
Okay.
2017, yeah.
So 2 years after you guys met.
Yeah, exactly 2 years.
Or was it 2015 was when you...
Our first date was 2015.
First date was
And then,
2015.
yeah. and then we got married exactly 2 years later. Yeah.
And then what were some surprises that you noticed after living together?
I'm way cleaner than her.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm way cleaner than her.
And more organized? And does it frustrate you when things are disorganized?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
What does frustrate you?
Not much.
Okay. What specifically, then what does?
I can't think of anything. I don't really get frustrated.
You don't get frustrated?
No.
You're a lot of patience?
Yeah, a lot of patience.
Got it.
Yeah, a lot of patience.
So what surprised her about you?
You have to ask her, right?
I mean, did she ever mention it?
I don't know.
Does she admire your qualities of being
Wait,
meticulous?
you said you're surprised that you're cleaner than her.
Yeah.
Did you expect her to be clean, and then she was like super messy?
Well, I think you just kind of expect all girls to be more organized and keep their houses. I'm putting our dirty laundry out there, but no, but she cleans a lot. But it's just I'm more of a daily cleaner and a daily organizer. She's like once a week. Let's turn this whole house upside down and put everything away. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys welcomed a baby girl.
Yeah. 2 years ago.
What year was she born?
October 1st, 2022.
October 1st, 2022. So it's been 2 years.
Yeah, she's over 2 now.
Yeah. So how's it been being a dad?
It's great.
Yeah.
It's
challenges. It's a different life.
a very different life. I used to think I was busy before, and now I was like, what the hell was I doing?
Yeah.
With all that free time.
Yeah. I remember we used to say how busy we were. I had no time to do anything. And I was like, I don't know what I was doing.
But you still find time for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you recently ran a marathon, right?
I did about over a year ago. Yeah.
It's been a year?
Yeah.
Man, you've been talking about it a lot.
I haven't brought it up once since I ran it.
I feel like I've heard about you were running a marathon leading up to it almost every week. Oh yeah, I'm training for a marathon. Oh cool.
Oh, I did that marathon.
if you didn't tell anybody, did you actually run it?
So what was your motivation for running? Because you used to be a runner back in high school and whatnot.
Yeah,
right?
it was just the motivation was just purely to tell people that I did it. No, it was shortly after my daughter was born that I decided I needed I was going to the gym and stuff, but I was I needed something to stay motivated. I saw myself missing gym days and just not being as
Focused.
Yeah, on the gym as I needed to be. So I needed a goal to strive for. So I was like, okay, I circled the calendar I'm going to do this marathon. I got to train. I got 4 months to train.
So what does it take to get ready for a marathon like that?
You just run a lot.
I mean, how much running do you do a day? First of all, I'm not knowledgeable of marathons in any way. So how long is a marathon? First of all,
a marathon's 26.2 miles. To train for it, you have to run pretty much every day, at least 5-6 days a week at least. So that's what I was doing.
And you do a full 26 miles every day?
No. You start off slow. During the week, I would do small runs, 3 miles, 6 miles, and those kind of slowly went up. And then on Saturday or Sunday, I would do my long run. And in week 1, my long run was 6 miles, and then I would add a couple miles every week to where a few weeks before the marathon, you're running 20, 21 miles.
So then so do you never do a full 26 miles before the marathon?
Because after 20 miles, your legs take a serious toll. So you don't want to do that before the marathon. So
really?
So but then also that you don't know what that feels like until you run.
Yeah.
And that's when I hit the wall at mile 20 is when my legs just gave out.
And so then what happened?
I walked a lot of the last 6 miles.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know. For me, thinking about preparing for a marathon, I have to run 26 miles. I want to make sure I'm able to do 26 miles. Right?
No, yeah, it's not good for you to run more than 20 miles before.
Really?
It takes at least I've been told, it takes a huge toll on your legs.
Man, yeah. I didn't know that. I thought everybody would run on average at least 20 miles. 26 miles to get yourself ready to run 26 miles. Yeah.
No, you run a lot during the week. So that week I did 20 miles with my long run. I probably ran another 30 miles during the week. So you did a total of 50 miles during that week, but then the last 2 weeks you shut it down and you taper, and you just the last runs you do are 2 miles.
What about diet to maintain? Because you're burning so many calories, I'm sure.
I was eating trash. I should have ate a lot better. When I ran in high school and college, I could eat whatever, and I was just younger and I could handle it.
Yeah.
But then, so I took that same mentality when training for the marathon, and that didn't work. I think I could have done a lot better if my diet was better.
Oh, really? So what would you have changed?
Just eating healthier, not so much fast food. And then the other difficult thing for me too was we had a newborn at the time, so my sleep wasn't my recovery wasn't what it needed to be.
So then the day of the marathon, like what type of, like, do you eat a big breakfast or like, or you try to keep it light?
No, you obviously you don't want to eat too close before you run, but the marathon doesn't start till 7 a.m., but you're up at like 3 a.m.
Oh my God.
First of all, you can't sleep the night before. You're so nervous. Like you don't want to sleep through your alarm. So I got like an hour of sleep. And then you leave at 3 o'clock. You have to drive. Like this is the LA Marathon, so I drove to Century City Mall. You park your car there, and then you get in the bus, which takes you to Dodger Stadium, which is where the starting line is. So then you take the bus there. So by like you've been up for 4 or 5 hours before you even get to the starting line.
Exhausted.
Yeah.
How do you run a marathon after that?
Yeah, you're pretty tired. And then so I that morning I just took like milk and oats and stuff like that just so I can eat in the morning, like a couple hours before over there. And then also it's freezing in the morning there. It's freezing and you can't like
you're not wearing a jacket or anything.
So you leave your car there and you go take a bus to the starting line and you're not getting anything back that you leave there because you're running across the city.
Exactly.
So it's a very common thing that people do, and what I did too as well. Like my friend who ran it with me, we went to you go to the Goodwill the day before or the week before, and you pick out some super cheap sweats and like hoodie and sweatpants, and then when you wear that, and then when they're about to start the race, you take it off and you just throw it, and then
so a lot of homeless people should go over there and
donate them.
Oh, they donate.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you can't take it back. So I was wondering what do you do? But I mean, you're exhausted at that point.
Yeah.
How do you run 26 miles?
You just try to you just find a place where you can stay warm and sit down and just wait. A lot of waiting. Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so then you ran that marathon, and how'd you feel after? I mean, do you want to do another one?
I did. Well, first of all, I had people say when you do your first marathon, your only goal should be to finish. I thought I was better than that, so I set a time goal, and I was working towards that time, and I was on pace for that time, way faster than that time actually. Through 20 miles, and I hit a wall, and it was bad. So
what was your final time?
It was like 5 hours. I want to do it under 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
And through 20 miles, I was on pace to do it at like 3 hours and 50 minutes.
Oh, amazing.
But then I just hit a wall, and I had to walk a lot, and I actually called my mom. They were there.
Yeah.
My mom, my wife, my dad, and my sister, they were there at the finish line. So I called them. I was like, hey, you got to pick me up. I can't finish this. Like, I'm cramping bad. It was like mile 21, 22. I was like, I'm going to do 5 more miles. So I called him. I was like, you got to pick me up. And my mom was like, okay, we're coming. Where are you? Yeah. And then I was like, oh, thank God. So I'm just like, I just sit down on the curb. And then my sister calls me. She's like, we're not picking you up. You better, like, we're staying right here. Like, we came all the way out. And I'm glad she did that now.
You tried to take the easy way out after all the work and training you did.
I was going to get my time. So actually before that, I had already signed up. Before I even ran the marathon, I was enjoying it. So I signed up for the New York Marathon, which was in October. It's usually in October. So this was in March. So in October, I was going to come back right back. I was going to take like a month off and then start training again. So like that like week, I took a couple. I didn't run at all for like a couple weeks after that. So like I was still psyched about it, and then like then I started like, let me start building my base miles up. When I started that, I just wasn't into it. Like I don't want to go through this all again.
So I have a very similar story with that. I did Tough Mudder. Yeah. I think it was in 2000 and I don't even remember, 2014. Yeah. And we were training. It was myself and Amadsky. We trained. We did this Tough Mudder run, which was gruesome, right? And I remember the last mile of it, I was just cramping like crazy. Right, like literally you can't.
How many miles was it?
It was like 11 miles. Oh, yeah, and it was like hills. Yeah, up and down, like muddy. Like it was crazy, like mountains, like running up and down. Right, and I remember that last part. I was just on the steep hill. My whole legs just cramped up. I literally was laid out on the ground. And some random person came and grabbed my leg and just stretched me out. He was like, you okay if I stretch you out? I was like, yeah, go for it, because he saw I was just cramping. And I couldn't even see this guy's face because the sun was behind him. It was just a shadow. And then I was like, we always joke. I was like, I tell my friends, this random guy helped me stretch out my leg. They looked at me like, there wasn't anybody up there with you.
Same joke.
No, I remember. It was Frank Rapoli. That guy.
that guy died in 92.
1792. There's this picture. Him wearing like an old school that hold the shorty's hat.
He died because he died of a cramp that no one could stretch out.
But I actually do want to come back to the running thing. So I want to be an avid runner. I have periods where I run continuously and consistently.
Yeah.
But then I level off because I always worry about having leg issues, knee issues. Because a lot of people as they age, they get more leg issues and bone on bone, cartilage depreciates, and so it's like, how do you prevent that? Is there a way to run where you don't have those kinds of issues?
Run slow. Don't you build
Is walking better than running?
Was walking better than running for what?
Because it's like low resistance, low impact.
To save your knees, yeah. Walking,
save your knees,
walking is
okay.
better than running, but
for what is it not better for?
Burning calories. Getting faster. No, you gotta take it easy. You gotta build into it. Diet's a big thing. Stay healthy.
I know a guy who's also a marathon runner, and he says that he just stays he doesn't have his heel touch the floor when he runs.
Yeah, so there's people run the wrong way too. Mm-hmm. The way your foot strikes the ground and comes back off.
Yeah.
So you can actually they sell shoes that the problem a lot of like runners who don't know what they're doing is they just go to or online and they just go into like a Foot Locker and they just buy whatever running shoes look cool. Now you got to get shoes that actually will help you the way you run. There's stores, if you go to a specific running store, most of them will have like treadmills in there. Mm-hmm. Well, they're actually analyze the way you run, and then they'll have sensors in the
Foot Locker would do that?
Not Foot Locker,
no,
like
they're
running
special.
stores.
Yeah, special running.
There's one here called Roadrunner Sports.
Okay.
And then
they measure your foot and what type of foot you have, and
what kind of
the best shoe for running.
And then they can even make you an insert too, based on your
so
foot.
So you can put that in any shoe.
And you can put that in any shoe, but they'll recommend a shoe that. And then also what your running goals are. Are you trying to sprint? Are you trying to put in serious miles? Are you running mostly on roads? Are you running mostly on trails?
We all know Humair's just a sprinter.
Yeah.
Come on.
So they sell different shoes for different things. So you tell them, okay, I'm training for a marathon. I'm running mostly on roads. Okay. Not only do you have
just like daily morning run kind of thing.
So not only do you have your foot type, but what are you running? What kind of terrain are you running on? So that'll determine the shoe too.
And so can you show us with your hand how to position your foot when you're running?
So I've always I don't even know. It just comes since I was young. I just come natural.
Does your heel impact the floor?
I don't think about it. Yeah, it definitely does.
It does. Okay.
Yeah, first.
Okay.
I've never heard of running on their tippy toes.
Wait, bro, what did you think running was supposed to be?
Maybe I misunderstood what Mark told me.
Who's Mark?
The guy that told me about the running.
There's no Mark, is there?
Swimsuit's friend, Mark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. So I mean, people run differently too. Whatever works for you. But
So then you were saying, you didn't want to do the New York Marathon after that. You were like, forget it.
Yeah.
So what's it called? Is there any more desire to go back into it now, or no?
Yeah, I do want to run the New York Marathon still.
Wait, you said you already registered for it.
I lost
How much
my
was
money.
the registration fee?
I think a couple $100.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I do want to run it because as we talked about earlier, New York was a very transformative time for me. So that full circle moment, I don't know,
And in October,
I had thought about that. Yeah.
And it was in October. Is it cold in New York at that time?
So it's like the perfect weather to run. It's not too cold, not too hot. So it's perfect. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So have you thought about this, that you moved here from New York, right? And when you moved here, you were fully motivated, just a powerhouse. And then over time, that's diminished. And that old Fawad that came from New York would have ran that New York Marathon.
Well, yeah, it's also no, you're right. It definitely is. I think it's a good thing. I think I have a balance of two, because sometimes it's not good to be like that all the time. If I ran that New York Marathon, I would have been pushing my body too hard. I would have probably been. My daughter was getting older, so she wasn't just laying there every day. So I would have been leaving my wife at home while I was doing 20-mile runs and going to sleep early and stuff like that. So probably a good thing I didn't do that.
Right. So it's not always good.
It's not always, yeah. It's not
And
always
I'm
good.
sure your
Balance.
body's going to be just dead. You can't even play or, spend time with your daughter.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
So then you've transitioned. I know you play a lot of golf now.
Transition.
Oh, no. That transitioned like that.
So that's going to be in the next episode.
You see Fawad at the wig?
Yeah, I play a lot of golf now.
Yeah. How'd you get into golf?
So I got COVID
Okay.
When like
Then-
I was the like one of the first persons like anyone knew that got COVID.
You're case zero
Well, not
in Los
zero,
California?
not zero, but it was definitely still like in the thousands, and not tens of thousands. Like
Wow.
CNN still had a number on the screen, and I got it. So people thought I was gonna die. Like, and we lived in Marine Del Rey. We had a 2-bedroom apartment, and the way the apartment was split, you make a right living room, bedroom, kitchen. You make a left, and that was the guest room, the hallway and guest room. So I was quarantined to that side for my wife. So I was in that room for 10 days. Because it was early. No one knew about COVID. Like no, and people thought, including myself, like I might die. We found out that was all. Yeah. Okay.
Did you get vaccinated?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2 shots.
Okay.
Yeah. No boosters.
RFK's not gonna be happy.
I know. I know. The RFK boys. What was I saying? So I got COVID. I was stuck in that room for 10 days, and I literally watched everything on YouTube. Like, I think
You watched YouTube.
I consumed
all of YouTube.
I finished it. I got
You finished YouTube.
I got.
Wait a minute. What channel? No. All of YouTube.
I did, yeah, I got the end credits on YouTube. So I watched all of it, and then there was this one video. It was someone just made like hype videos for different sports. I was watching like basketball ones, and it was just like Kobe making these shots, and to actually like good music. And I was also playing Flight Simulator. The new one just came out, so I'd play Flight Simulator, and most of the time in Flight Simulator, you're just sitting there waiting. So
wait a minute. It sounds like you had the time of your life in quarantine. Wait, nobody bothering you, doing whatever you wanted, watching all YouTube, playing video games, hanging out,
so
having food delivered to you.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad looking back at it. But like, so I was playing. I was playing Flight Simulator and watching these sports hype videos.
In Flight Simulator, you were doing the actual like full like 10-hour flights. There's nothing to do. It's on autopilot. Yeah, so you're sitting there.
I put there and I was watching these videos, and then this one guy. I should find his channel, but he would make like these hype videos for all sports. So watching basketball, I finished the basketball one. So then golf ones started coming up, and I've always been into all sports. I'll watch any sport. So I'm familiar with the game of golf. I've tried it before, never got into it. So then watching these hype videos, I was like, damn, this is really cool. So then I got into like some of the YouTube golf channels, and then I was like, and being cooped up in this little room for like 10 days and seeing people just outside, like just hanging out with their buddies, having a good time, playing a sport, being competitive at the same time. I was like, I want to try this when I get back outside. So I just, while I was there, I like the last day I was in quarantine, I found someone on Facebook Marketplace selling a used set, and I messaged them, so okay, I'll come pick it up tomorrow. I didn't tell them I had just recovered from COVID because I don't think he would.
Quick update: that person died.
So I went and picked up the golf clubs, and
That's crazy.
And I don't know, like,
did you take lessons or did you just start playing?
I've taken a few, yeah. I just started playing, but I've taken a few.
Did you start driving range first, or
just driving range first? I was on the driving range for a few weeks, and then there was a short par 3 course nearby that I started going there.
Which one?
It's called Hartwell Golf Course, where Tiger Woods learned how to play.
Oh.
So I played there like almost 2-3 times a week, and just really got into it.
And you're playing the full course?
Yeah, 18 holes. It was a short course. It only took a couple hours, 2-3 hours. But yeah.
I mean, did you go with anybody? How'd you know?
No, I would just go by myself.
How'd you know how to do it?
Just YouTube.
Like to play I personally wouldn't know.
No,
what to do.
I would watch golf, and I had been out years and years and years ago.
But
before.
like not just like watching golf, but like the process of like, hey, when to go, like when's your turn.
No, like about
like the little nuances about.
Yeah, in college, I had a buddy that I still know and golf with now. He was really into golf, so I had gone with him a couple times a while back, and so I knew the general idea of it, and it's not as intimidating as it looks, especially at these more casual courses too. It was pretty quick to get. Yeah.
So then you started going 2 to 3 times a week.
Started going 2-3 times a week, and then I started moving to like the big course, like a full regulation size course. And then I started playing there at least once a week. I would go at least once a week.
And do you think at that point you had the golf bug, or you were still kind of?
No, 100%. I got it quick right away. I got it quick, and that's it.
And then at what point did you reach where you started investing in more like the clubs and?
I mean, even like my first set of clubs was only $150, but just playing is kind of expensive.
Yeah.
So it's an investment right away. But I played with that set for like a year and a half, 2 years until I finally upgraded.
Because I mean, there's some people I know that are out there that all they want to do is just buy new clubs.
Yeah, they barely play, and they barely play, and they just tinker with their clubs,
and they think the clubs are the issue.
Yeah, and meanwhile they just get worse.
Shout out Asif Akil. What's it called?
Not to mention any names.
Oh yeah, no. We always joke. I mean, Asif is always just buying the different clubs, and he thinks that's the issue. We always give him a hard time about it.
No, I've talked to him. He said he enjoys that part of it more than playing. And that's fine. If that's what you like, that's what you like.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so Asif is a good friend of mine. You guys got connected, and you guys play a lot of golf now.
Yeah, we kind of knew each other just through you and just at your house and stuff like that. And then the one year you did that Christmas party.
Yep.
And you had the Secret Santa, and he got me. Since a lot of people didn't know each other, you got people's hobbies and shirt sizes and stuff like that, stores they liked. So I sent you mine, and my hobby was golf. And then he got me, and he's like, he got super excited because I didn't know you golfed, and ever since then. Yeah, we've golfed.
Yeah, and I remember he would ask me, what does he used the term like, what is your like
what's in the bag? Yeah,
what's in the bag? Yeah. So and then I wanted to trying to find out with you, and I was like, hey, Fawad, what do you use? Because he was trying to get you a gift, so that's kind of the background.
You know what he got me?
What
a Visa gift card.
We went through this whole thing about how they shared this interest in golf, and he was like, oh, perfect, he's going to get him like this golf thing, whatever. He literally, Asif asked me to find out what he uses, and then you just got your gift card.
So Fawad, at a recent golf event, I heard that you met a certain someone.
Yeah, so I was in the Bahamas for a week and staying at the Atlantis Hotel. One morning, I snuck out and got a round of golf in, and ran into Michael Jordan.
Nice.
How'd you approach him?
Just to be clear, Michael B. Jordan the actor or Michael Jordan the basketball player?
Michael Jordan the basketball player.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think we're running into Michael B. Jordan, the actor.
I mean, come on. Have you seen his movies?
Have you seen his movies?
All right, fine. We'll give you that.
Creed?
Okay, so how'd you approach Michael Jordan?
Let me ask you, how would you approach him? What would you call him?
MJ?
Because I debated this in my head for a good solid 10 minutes when he was standing next to me.
Yeah. Would
you say MJ?
I would probably say MJ.
I said Mr. Jordan.
Mr. Jordan.
Respectful.
Because a lot of his friends, he was with his friends, and they were all calling him MJ.
And you're not his friend.
I'm like, hey, MJ, that's weird, right?
Yeah, it kind of is.
But I mean, he's kind of, he's an icon. Everybody knows him. It's like somebody you know, even though you don't know.
I don't know. When his friend said it, like, I don't know, I just felt weird.
So then,
I was also considering Black Jesus at one point.
So what'd you go with? You said Mr. Jordan.
Yeah.
And how do you respond?
He asked who I was here with. I was like, Mr. Jordan, you mind if I get a picture with you? He's like, who you here with?
Scottie Pippen.
I don't think that would be a good idea.
Yeah. I was like, who you here with? I realized after the fact why he asked me that, by the way. It seemed really weird at the moment, but I just told him by myself, playing some golf. And I told him I was wearing my Jordan golf shoes. So I was like, I had your shoes on, so I figured I had to get a picture with you.
Yeah.
And he goes, all right, I see you, big dog, and took the picture with me.
Okay. And what was your reason? Why did he ask you that?
So I realized clicked after that he was hosting a tournament there.
Oh, okay.
So there was like 40 guys there with him. And I'm sure he didn't know them all.
Yeah.
I'm sure people were
part of the tournament.
Friends of the people he invited.
Got it.
So he probably thought I was there for the tournament, and I was invited by one of his. He didn't know me, so I was invited by one of his buddies. So I think that's what he was asking.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I thought he was being kind of.
Yeah, because I was like, that's kind of weird to ask.
Yeah, but I think that. I mean.
And so, how was his demeanor? Overall, friendly. Because everyone's always curious how.
So I got there. I had kind of had an idea he was there before I saw him because I saw his yacht by our hotel, and and I saw his yacht, and then the waiter the night before at the restaurant said he was in town. They saved the back room for him at Nobu. So I had an idea he was in town, and then I got to the golf course early and was having breakfast in the clubhouse, and there was a bunch of guys in there wearing the Grove 23 sweatshirts and hoodies and shirts. The Grove 23 is his private golf course, and you can only go if you're invited by him. So I was like, oh, he's here. Like if he's in the Bahamas, there's a bunch of people wearing Grove 23. He's definitely here at this golf course. So then I went down. It was my time to start. So I went down to the first tee, and right by the first tee, there's a practice putting green. Going to practice some putts, and I drove down, and there he is. There's practicing his putts on the putting green. So I go there. I was like, I've got to go talk to him.
And there's no security stopping you from getting nearby him?
No, I had every right to be there. I was about to start a round two.
Yeah.
And so I was just practicing my putts right next to him. I'm waiting for my opportunity. He's talking to his buddies. I'm waiting for them to stop talking so I can just go walk over to him, and so then when he does stop talking, I walk over to him, Mr. Jordan, and take a picture with him. Then he was cool. He gave me the picture, and then it was my turn to start. So just right across the sidewalk there, I go over to the first tee to take my tee shot.
And were you paired up with other people?
So at this time, I'm paired by my. Like, he's asked what time. The starter asked what time I'm going. I was like 8:00. He goes. He looked confused too, like what to do. He's all right. Just go ahead by myself. I was like, okay, that's fine. Play around by myself. It'll be quick. And then right when I'm going to like put my tee in the ground, Jordan, I guess he's right after me. He's standing right in front of me, like
watching you,
10, 15 feet away from me,
watching you about to hit.
The way I'm lined up, I'm looking right at him.
Oh,
and I'm just shaking. I'm literally my hands are shaking.
You're like, don't mess this up.
How the hell do I hit this shot? Like,
could you imagine you just rip it and hit this amazing shot? And he looks over at you, goes, "Hey kid, why don't you join me?"
Close, not that close. And the other funny thing was too, his group was all like lined up at the black tees. That's like the farthest back you can go. I usually play from the whites, which is like the
closest.
Not the closest, but up there. It goes whites. Well, it goes ladies, then whites, then blues, then blacks. I usually play from the whites, maybe the blues, depends on the course, right? They're all lined up with the black tees. I'm not going to be like, I can go over there to the white tees, or even the blue tees. So I line up from the black tees. Yeah. I was like, let me just take this shot from the black tees, and then when I get out on the course,
away from them when they're not looking.
I'm moving up. So I go on the black tees. I'm shaking. He's standing right there, and it's a windy day too. It just makes it even a harder shot. The wind is right in my face. So if you're familiar with golf, you need to hit a very low stinger so it doesn't get caught by the wind as much as possible. I don't know how to do that on purpose. But I hit like the perfect low stinger right down the middle of the fairway. Perfect position. And he looks up and he looks at the shot. He goes, that was a missile. I love it. And I was like, oh, thanks. And then I got in the cart. And then right when I got in the cart, the guy who worked there said, hey, excuse me, go pick up your ball. We're going to have you start on hole 3. Oh. I was like, oh, that wasted a good shot. I was kind of glad because then he would be watching me hit my next shot too.
Yeah, but that'd be more fun.
Yeah, no, I already hit one good shot. I don't want to mess up my image in his eyes. So then I got paired up with somebody else and we moved to hole 3.
So then you miss out on hole 1 and 2?
No, you finish 18 and then you go do 1 and 2 and then you're done.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't have to put in order.
Oh, I mean, it would have been nice for you to just keep going and be right in front of Jordan the whole time, the whole course.
That's what they're trying to avoid, me slowing him down.
But you'd be like, hey, why don't I just play with you guys? You know?
Yeah, you know.
I have a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say if I knew there was a tournament and I got the picture, I'm like, hey, you mind if I hop in the tournament? Like, what's the to him?
Well, yeah.
I'm not
and what do you have to lose?
I'm not gonna play in his group. Like I know that, but like the cart girl, the girl who drives around in the cart with all the drinks and cigars and snacks. So when she came around for the first time, I was like, and I was like, oh, can I get a Coke Zero? She gave it to me. I was like, how much are you? She said, oh no, you're part of the tournament. It's all included. I was like, oh, let me get a cigar. Let me get this. Let me get that.
Get the upgraded presidential suite.
Jordan looks at his bill after. He's like, that guy.
But no, actually, later on when I was playing someone in his group, not in his group, but in his tournament, we crossed by. He was like, young man. I was like, yeah. He goes, I bet you when you put those shoes on this morning, you didn't think you'd get a picture with him. I was like, I did not.
No, that's crazy. And you packed your shoes obviously before you even knew he was going to be there.
It was crazy. I just got a gift card to the PGA Superstore, and I've been wanting to get new shoes, non-Jordan, like more traditional golf shoes. And I was like, I was about to go get them. I was by this PGA Superstore, and I had the gift card. I was like, oh, let me go get the shoes. But then I was like, you know what? I'm on vacation. I don't want to have to break in new shoes. I want to play somewhat decent. So I did it. So.
Oh, good. It all worked out.
Yeah.
So I have a similar story, kind of, but obviously not as impressive. So I was playing golf with my brother-in-law, and these two elderly women that were pretty good actually. They came and they kind of like caught up to us. So they're like playing at the same hole as us now. So they're standing behind me, and I'm teeing off right now, and I'm like, okay, I gotta make it a good shot, right?
Make it further than them.
Yeah, and I swing and I missed the ball completely. And then I was like, oh, crap. I better do this the second time right. Did it again. Missed again. Third time. Missed it. Fourth time. Hit it, but not well.
Wait, how's that similar to my story at all?
Wait a minute. When you went back to the clubhouse and told them about the two old ladies, they were like, what two old ladies? They haven't been.
Esther and Myrtle. They haven't played her since
1794.
Yeah.
Some guy missed the wall, hit them in the head, they died.
And then he goes, yeah, look over there. You see a picture of them?
That's exactly what happened.
But when I was after I was done with my round, I was waiting for the my taxi to pick me up, and I was talking to like the valet guy there.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Oh, did you see him?" I showed him the picture of him, and then he goes, "Yeah, a couple weeks ago, I got a picture with Kyle Lowry. He was here." I was like, "Kyle Lowry."
Yeah, and
No, it's funny. There's a video of Michael Jordan in the Bahamas playing basketball with Tom Brady and some random guys. Have you seen that video?
Yeah. I googled it after. He has a huge house out there.
Yeah, so he's in Bahamas
yeah.
pretty frequently.
Yeah.
And could you imagine, like, you're just staying at the resort. There's a basketball court there. You're shooting around, and then these guys want to play 3-on-3. And it happens to be Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, arguably one of the greatest football players ever, right? And you're just playing 3-on-3 with them, you know? What a fun situation.
What's really funny is because when you go golfing, and if say it's only two of you or one of you, they pair you up with somebody else. So on my story, the picture I posted with him, I put, got paired up with a random today.
Yeah.
If you have any common sense, I didn't play with him, but a lot of people believed it. They're like, "Oh, you played with Michael?" And I was like, "Yeah, I played with Michael. Like, I played with him the whole time."
Yeah.
And then I actually posted a video of like me swinging. Like the guy I ended up playing with, he recorded the video for me.
Yeah.
People were like, "Did Michael record this?"
Yeah. How'd you get that video?
hey, Mike, hold this.
Oh man,
That was the most responses I've ever gotten on an Instagram story in my life.
that's good though. That's fun, man. Well, I'm glad you got to took advantage of that opportunity. I mean, what are the chances of you running into Jordan ever again? So you got to take advantage of when it presents it.
Yeah.
So now kind of touching on a little bit more of the controversial topic. You mentioned COVID and all what we know about now.
Saw this one coming.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? What about COVID?
What about it?
Do you think it was a hoax? It was
It was a really real thing.
It was. It was a
sickness.
You had it. When you had COVID yourself, did you feel sick?
Oh yeah,
weak,
when I had it the first time, I had it like 3, maybe 4 times.
And do you have it right now?
I might. I think we all kind of got it, right?
Did you lose your sense of smell?
No, that's one thing that never happened to me. I never lost my sense of smell or my sense of taste. The first time I had it, it felt like I got hit by a truck. Body aches, fever, chills for like 3 days. It was rough the first time.
I never got COVID.
I never got it either.
Yeah. Kairos, he got COVID.
Yeah, I remember.
Right. And this is during the time when testing was not readily available, so we assumed we had it.
Yeah.
Right. But and we were quarantining. Once he got it, we quarantined and everything too. But I never got any symptoms at all. The only time I really felt something of it is when I got vaccinated.
Same.
Right.
I felt like what he said. Got a truck at you.
Yeah. And I mean, and I get it. I mean, they give you they kind of introduce the whole
that's
thing
not
to
that's
you,
not
right?
supposedly that's not how the mRNA vaccines work.
Who knows?
But aside from that, I never got it either.
Yeah, I never felt any symptoms. I never got anything.
When I first got it, like I said, I was very early on. Remember we hung out like the day before. I don't remember the month. 2020. What was it?
Was it February or March?
No. Like I think it just first started coming in March, so it was a couple months after that.
So let me tell you, I'm pretty sure I was the person who brought COVID to Los Angeles. Right?
Well, I was about to say we hung out with you like the day before, a couple days before I tested positive. So remember we went to the beach in Marina Del Rey that one time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, I was working in Seattle. At the time.
That time you visited that Wuhan factory, right?
No.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I didn't put that together.
There was a delicacy called bats that I was like, I gotta try this. No. I was working in Seattle, and I don't know if you guys remember, Seattle was the first case of COVID in the U.S. That was the first reported case of COVID in the U.S. I was working in Seattle at the time, and this is January. I remember I developed the most insane cough of my life, right? I've never coughed like this before. I'm coughing. I felt like I was coughing my lung out, right? It was literally when I landed in Los Angeles, I was on taking the shuttles to go to the Uber. I was coughing nonstop. And this is January, right?
Before COVID?
Before COVID
it was here.
COVID
was already here. Okay.
COVID was here in Seattle,
yeah.
right? It wasn't. There was there's a first reported case in the U.S. is in Seattle. I was in Seattle, right? And when this happened, everything shut down March 14th. I remember the exact
Somebody
date.
should make a documentary of this.
No. So
with footage of you getting up there.
Minerals will be a documentary.
Yeah, you grabbing your bag. Oh, somebody else's bag. The lady grabbed it. Cross contamination everywhere.
Yeah,
The CGI of the germs.
No, listen. I'm telling you, this cough was so bad. The bus driver of the shuttle, he literally got on the microphone and said, "Sir, are you okay?" Right? Like he stopped the bus because of my cough. Right? It was that bad, and it was just. And then the thing
How
is,
did you respond?
I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." I was like, "Let's keep it going," you know. Right?
Yeah, are you?
And no, I was literally coughing nonstop. And then what happened is the next reported case of COVID outside of Seattle was Los Angeles, right? And I remember that I was like, I brought it here. I kept on thinking that. You know?
So you think you were the only person on that plane that day?
No, definitely not. You know, it spread like wildfire. I'm sure. No, but I just remember that cough I had.
Yeah,
it was just unlike anything. That's the closest thing to me thinking I had a symptom of it.
But I don't know if you know Moroz as well as I do, but he will take any opportunity for notoriety.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, good or bad.
Yeah.
I would just want to have a quick question. So with Elon Musk and Vivek running Doge,
Yeah.
how do you think that's going to impact?
I think it's really funny the Department of Government Efficiency has 2 people running it. That doesn't sound very efficient.
That is a very astute observation.
But I was literally going to steal your joke right now. I was about to say, I was like, fine, go ahead.
Thanks for giving me
really
permission
good.
to say my own joke. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
That's hilarious, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we got...
Shoot, this is becoming very controversial.
we got Luigi with the United Healthcare situation.
Luigi.
Again, everyone, my name is Fawad Khan, and I'm...
Yeah, what do you guys...
Did you see what his brother said?
No.
It's a me, Mario.
Alright, with that...
On that note, thank you, Fawad, for joining us. It was a good episode. I appreciate you, and we'd love to have you guys both back on again.
For sure.